Enroll your child for the manifested e-learning platform and see their grades grow tremendously. These videos can be downloaded to a laptop for offline viewing or viewed from a smartphone in a cost-friendly format.
Hello learner, welcome back to Manifested e-learning platform. I'm Philip, your social studies teacher. And we are still on map work, and map work is still on physical environment. Physical environment. Physical environment. And under physical environment in map work, today we shall be looking at a subtopic, settlement. 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 Settlement is our main concern today. Our concern today is on settlement. Settlement is where people live. In an area, there must be people. Where do they live? Which pattern do they form? Why do they live where they are living? That is our concern today. And at the end of this lesson, you're supposed to identify the settlement pattern, and number two, the factor influencing that settlement pattern. You're supposed to know what is the name of that settlement pattern. And number two, why have they assumed that pattern? The factor influencing settlement in an area. So we shall start by giving examples or the categories of settlement pattern. We have types. We have types, settlement type. Category number one, we have linear settlement. Linear settlement. Category number two of settlement, we shall have what we call nucleated settlement. I will explain and give examples so that you understand what exactly I mean by nucleated. Category number three, we have clustered settlement pattern. And category number four, we have dense. And category number five, we have sparse settlement, dense settlement. These five settlement pattern is what we are supposed to identify and give the reasons why they have assumed a linear pattern, a nucleated pattern, a clustered pattern, a dense or a sparse pattern in a map. Our objectives are only to identify the pattern, give reason for that pattern. Identify the pattern, give the reason for the pattern. So let's start from the linear. Let's start from the linear settlement. Number one, linear settlement. Number one, linear settlement. Linear is from the name line. Linear is from the name line. So they assume a line kind of a pattern. For instance, example, let me give a quick example here. We have a road. There's a road in the map, or perhaps we have a railway, or maybe we have a river. This is a road. This is a railway. And this is a river. And people are assuming this kind of a pattern. People are assuming this kind of a pattern. They are following the road. Or perhaps they are lining up along the railway. Or probably They prefer living along the river. Linear settlement. From the name line, they follow a line. Along the road, along the railway, along the river. Just to give an example. That is your first assignment, to identify which settlement. If they are following a line, that is linear. The second thing you are supposed to know, why. So if they are following a road, they are forming a linear pattern along the road. So what is influencing that pattern? Of course, that is transport. That is transport. If they are following a railway, that is another form of transport. So they are being influenced by transport. If they are following a river, then they are being influenced by drainage feature. They are being influenced by a drainage feature. So it is not enough for you to identify which type of settlement. It is also very, very, very important to know why they assume that type of settlement. That is a linear. Let's go to number 2, nucleated. Nucleated. Number 2, nucleated pattern. Nucleated settlement pattern. How does it look like? Nucleated. Nucleated is very simple. This is how it looks like. That people in that area are assuming a village like they are staying together. They are staying close together, forming a village like kind of settlement. That is nucleated. That is nucleated. And when I'll be giving examples in a map, we shall be able to see what are some of the factors that makes some settlement to look like this. What would make people live in this kind of pattern? Nucleated is one village-like form of settlement. Number three, we have clustered. Number 3, we have clustered. And I also want to mention that clustered is so much related to nucleated. Only that in clustered type of settlement, it is not now one village. It is not one group. It is not one group. When it is just one group, that is nucleated. But when that map has more than one group, there are several groups of settlement, then we say we have clustered settlement. One group, nucleated. Several groups, clustered. Please do not confuse the two. They are related, yes, but they are different in a way. So number 4, we have dense. Dense. How will dense look like? Dense. Number 4, we have dense settlement. That means that we have so many people living in an area. Perhaps, let me use a small map there. Then we have people occupying almost everywhere in the map. There are so many people. Like in urban area, places like urban areas, we have people literally everywhere. That's a dense pattern. We have finally number 5, sparse. Sparse. sparse population. And maybe again to give an example with a simple map. That's my simple map there. Assuming that is my map there, then sparse means there are very few people in this area. Probably because this area is dry, or it has disease-causing organism, or it is prone to floods, and maybe it is war-stricken area, insecurity. These are some of the reasons why we have sparse populated area. These are settlement pattern. This is how people assume their pattern when it comes to an area, because of different reasons. For instance, I have given reasons why a place would have sparse population. For instance, it's good to note, maybe number one, we have said, maybe this area is hot and dry. Maybe this area is hot and dry. Areas that are hot and dry do not attract so many people. People run away from this area. Maybe this area has diseases causing parasites, causing organisms like mosquitoes, like tsetse fly. People will not be comfortable living in that area, so they will run away, and the settlement will be very, very sparse. Maybe this area has infertile soils. Maybe this area has insecurity, like the Al-Shabaab. Maybe this area is prone to floods. Maybe this area does not have fertile soils. These are some of the reasons why some areas are sparsely populated. Even other reasons that might cause an area to have sparse population is government policy. An example of a government policy that does not allow so many people living in an area is maybe in a forest or in a game park. Those are some of the area, or maybe near an airport or something. They do not allow so many people in those areas. So that's some of the reasons why we would have sparse population. What are some of the reasons why we would have a dense population? Maybe good climate, favorable climate. Favorable climate is number one, is the main factor. Favorable climate. This area, maybe perhaps it receives enough rainfall for farming. There will be so many people. Remember, the main factor, the main economic activity in Kenya is farming. So favorable climate will attract so many people. Maybe this place has fertile soils. Areas with fertile soils are densely populated because agriculture is very much viable in those places. Near areas like in urban area, they assume dense population, like in Nairobi. So many people, millions of people. They are attracted by the jobs that are available in the industries in towns. These are some of the areas. Security, areas that are secure, areas that have good transport, areas that are free from diseases. They will attract good number of people, and that one we shall call dense. And areas that will attract very few people, we have tried to mention: hot and dry area, no rainfall, diseases causing organisms like mosquitoes and tsetse flies, insecurity, maybe the threat of Al-Shabaab, like in northern Kenya, has caused sparse population. Areas prone to flood, like Budarangi in Kenya, will assume sparse populated area. Government policy, like in game parks, game reserves, forest reserves, people are not allowed. So the most probable settlement pattern will be sparse. Now, for better interpretation, let's try to put this one in a map perspective. Assuming we have a map here. We have a map here. We have a map here. This is our map. That is our map. And in a map, we might be having 1 or 2 settlement pattern, or even 3 or even 4, or probably sometimes only 1. So, assuming this is our map and we have a quarry. We have a market here. We have a market there. We have a plantation here. We have a plantation here. Plantation. Maybe a coffee plantation. Maybe here we have fish traps around that area. Just an example, I want to show you something. Now, if there are people that are assuming this kind of settlement here, there are other people around here. There are other peoples, there's another group of people here. There's another group of people here. Looking at your map, identify first. Which pattern are they assuming? Is it one group? No, it is several. A matter of fact, they are 1, 2, 3, 4. So our settlement pattern is clustered. Several groups you have identified. Number 2, what is causing them to assume this clustered pattern of settlement? You gather the information from the map. Some of them are near the market. Some of them are near the plantation. Some of them are near the fishing traps. And some of them are near the quarry. So the main factor that has influenced this settlement in this particular map is economic activity. Is the work they do. Economic activity. Is the work they do. These ones here work here in the plantation. These ones, they work here in the market. These ones, they do fishing here. These ones, they do mining here. Economic activity is the one that have led them to assume this clustered settlement. Clustered settlement. So, as I've just said, is that it is not enough to identify which type of settlement pattern. It is also very important to identify and prove the reason why they have assumed that type of settlement. So this is exactly what we are supposed to have covered, and we have covered. And for your homework, for your assignment, I'll have a simple map for you. I have a simple map for you here. I'll have a simple map for you here. And from this map, I have a railway there. Number 2, I have a plantation here. Let me have a plantation there. Plantation. An example of a plantation. We have a plantation there. We have a railway there. Number 4, another example. We can have a quarry somewhere here. A query, and in that query we have, let me use a different color to show that. Let me use a different color. We have now the settlement patterns. This one here, the red dots is the settlement patterns. The red dots stands for the settlement. And finally, let me add another one for you. We have some scrubs there. And in those scrubs, we have that settlement. Now, this is for your assignment. You'll have to identify the type of settlement and give reasons and get to know why are they assuming this type of settlement. So your questions will be, question number 1 can be down here. Question number 1. Question number 1. Which settlement pattern is likely to be in northwestern part of the map. Northwestern part of the map. Which settlement pattern is likely to be in northwestern part of the map? Yours is to go to the north, to draw a compass, and go to where you are being asked, that is northwestern. Identify which type of settlement they are assuming. Number 2. Question number 2. Are enough revision questions for you. And we are using this map here. Your assignment map is this one here. And we have said that we have given a plantation, a quarry, a railway, and some scrubs. And each of them has a settlement pattern that we have already discussed about. And the question number 1 is, which settlement pattern? This one is only about identifying the pattern. Which settlement pattern is likely to be in the northwestern part of the map? And remember, when we have northwestern, southeastern, north, south, east, you have to use a compass. Please remember to draw a compass so that the compass guides you about where you're supposed to go. So number 1, which settlement pattern is likely to be in the northwestern part of the map. Use a compass, go to the northwestern part of the map, identify that settlement pattern. Let's go to number 2. Which type of settlement is found in northeastern part of the map? Again, use the compass so that the compass can guide you to the northeastern part of that map. This map to be specific. And which type of settlement is found in southwestern part of the map? Again, with the help of a cardinal points or a compass, it will be very easy for you to go to the southwestern part of the map and finally give a reason. This one is not about identifying. This one is giving a reason why those people have assumed what type of settlement they have assumed. So give a reason why southeastern part of the map has the given settlement pattern. So you'll go and check which settlement pattern they have and give a reason why. So that is that for today's session. Maybe to remind you of what we have said, today we were looking at the settlement. In a given area, there must be people living in that area. Which patterns do they assume? We have talked about linear. Number 1, linear. They follow a line. They follow a line. I have given a very good example here. Maybe they are following a road. They are along the railway or they are along the river. And I've said they are following or they are along something, there must be a factor. If it is a river, the factor that is influencing that settlement pattern is drainage. If they are following a railway or a road, these are forms of transport. So their main influence, the main factor influencing that settlement is transport. We have talked about nucleated. And we have said nucleated is one single group, one single round kind of a group, one nucleated. And if there are more than one groups, they are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, then we call that one clustered. And dense is where we have so many people living in an area and we have given reason. Maybe that area receives high rainfall. Maybe that place have fertile soil. Maybe that place is in urban areas where we have numerous job opportunities. They will assume a dense population settlement pattern. And sparse. Sparse is where we have very few people. It's a scary type of settlement where we have very few people. Perhaps because there is hostile climate, no rainfall, or sometimes very little rainfall that cannot support crop farming. Maybe there is no fertile soils. Maybe there is insecurity, like that one posed by the Al-Shabaab terrorists. Maybe those areas are prone to floods, like Budarangi. I've already mentioned that. Maybe those areas are near swamps where we have disease-causing organisms like mosquitoes. Maybe those areas have sesafly. Those are other disease-causing organisms, and people will avoid those places. And those places will assume very, very few people, and we term that one as sparse population. It has been a joy teaching you this session. Please attempt our work and submit. God bless you. See you in the next session.